you're implying that there's a financial incentive for CPS to take people's babies from them, and that maybe is contributing to the 83% error rate, right?
Absolutely. Kind of like they did during COVID when they wanted to, when the federal government needed to have power during COVID, what they said is they said, hey, states, there's this big kitty of money. We're going to put this big kitty of money here. And if each state ratifies its constitution to give us this power, we'll then give you access to this capital. And all 50 states went and ratified their constitution. And then that's how COVID went out, right? That's how the tyranny played out. In 1997, Bill Clinton passed the ASFA Act, which created this big kitty of money, and that incentivizes the states. Each state had to ratify their constitution to create their version of CPS. They have CPS, DCF, DCHS. So when I say CPS, I'm kind of blanket stating that for all of these government agencies. And then inside that, for example, the sheriff's department only gets access to their portion of the money if the sheriff physically separates the child from the parent. So we can use the baby Cyrus case, for example. If the sheriffs that night didn't separate the child from the mother, they wouldn't have been able to check that box. And that sheriff's department has a quota. And once they hit that quota, then they have access to that capital of money. And that's just the sheriffs. You have the doctors, you have the welfare, you have the parents. And it's just this big system that is so decompartmentalized because the foster care mother, she's just doing her job. She's just taking the child, right? She's just taking care of the child. The CPS caseworker is just doing her job. She's going in to interview the parents. And if, the parents don't check this criteria, if they don't vaccinate their child, if they homeschool their child, if they check all the boxes, then they can claim neglect. The doctors, the judges pretty much have a full-time job only overseeing CPS cases. And this system is just so decompartmentalized that each person plays a role, kind of like we've seen with the trafficking of the migrant children during the Biden administration, right? Like Border Patrol was just receiving the child. The NGO was just moving the child over to HHS. HHS was just vetting the sponsor. Then the NGO was just delivering the child to the sponsor, if you will. So each person played a role, but until you step back and see in the entire big picture, you didn't realize that our government was running this massive child trafficking operation.